First of all, I'm pleased to be here with you, and I want to deeply thank Gozem for inviting me. I have a question. Do you think artificial intelligence will replace human art, or can it truly augment human creativity? My name is ABK, and I'm an artist researcher, and I'm going to give you some ways to answer this question. First, I will introduce my research in art and science that started in 2014 with the rise of some algorithm of computer vision up to the creation of a new artistic painting movement that I call the augmented painting or augmentism. Then I will tell you a bit about the European Artistic Biennial dealing with AI and augmentism I am now implementing. This will be the opportunity to show you some works of other artists. To start, I would like to go back to the beginning of AI in visual art. AI tools for image creation have recently joined the mainstream, but creating artwork with AI actually started in the 1960s with artists such as Harold Cohen. He developed Aaron, the first software dedicated to art creation. He linked this software to painting machines and plotters that could draw with automated paint from AI instruction. Then an important revolution in AI creation happened later in 2014 and 2015. In fact, two tools of visual AI appeared with the rise of deep learning. Both codes were distributed as open source, which is important because anyone could use them to create. The first one is the CNN, Convolutional Neural Network, a model of deep learning that was able to detect objects in images and to interpret what is seen, like images of cats or human faces. The purpose with CNN is to analyze and make recognition of visual data. The applications are image classification, object detection, facial recognition, and so on. Then CNNs can also be reversed to generate hallucinatory images or self-styled images, like with Deep Dream or Ostagram. This is the interest of this tool for artists like me. Instead of simply classifying an image, this tool invokes certain layers and amplifies the pattern they detect. In concrete terms, they perform reverse back propagation, but instead of reducing errors, it maximizes the activation of selected artificial neurons, and the result is that the final image could show hallucinatory patterns corresponding to the features that CNN has learned, such as eyes, animals, geometric shape, etc. The original Deep Dream code, for instance, was in open source and available notably with TensorFlow notebooks and other implementation on GitHub. This means that anyone could use, modify, and experiment with it as long as they comply with the license. And Deep Dream marked a turning point by showing that neural networks were not only used to analyze the world, but could also be used to create new visual artworks. The tool rapidly evolved, allowing to merge two images to create a third one by uploading an image and specific style you choose and put in the process. The second tool I will talk about is called GAN, meaning Generative Adversarial Networks. The GAN is able to produce new images from a data set that is trained by a human. This technology was developed at first by Ian Goodfellow and Al in 2015. Here you can see some process of it. General adversarial networks have a purpose, which is the generation of new visual data. And the application is to create realistic images and even deepfakes. The role is that they allow machines to imagine and create new visuals. Again, is based on the interaction of two simultaneously trained models. The generator, which learns to create new data, like images, by imitating the distribution of real data, and the discriminator, which learns to distinguish whether data is authentic from training or artificially generated. These two neural networks play a competitive game, and the generator seeks to deceive the discriminator, while the discriminator seeks not to be deceived. And over the course of several iterations, the generator produces increasingly realistic results of generated images. With this tool from 2015 to 2017, I made many tests and researches to understand how I could bring them into my painting. I first tried the tool with selfies, as you can see, to understand how they work. Here are two basic examples. Here, I show a famous example of GAN from Obvious, a collective of 3 French artists who use GAN to generate Bellamy's family with a data set of around 15,000 old paintings. Here you see Edmond Bellamy, which was sold $432,000 by Christie's in New York in 2018. To give you a comparison, nowadays AI for artwork production is based on diffusion models and trained on billions of images. Now let's go to my poetic, my process of creation with these tools through 2 projects. First, through a self-portrait I painted with acrylic pigment in 2014. Once it was painted, I hybrided this portrait to selfies and to medical imaging with AI to generate new images. On the left, on the top, you see how AI could bring hallucinatory details and guess the colors of my original painting I just showed you. And below, you can guess the pattern of my painting. Then, I make a selection of the result given by the machine, and I infuse them into my artistic creation. On the left, you see the poster for a scientific conference, including my artwork with a smile. And if you watch it, you can see patterns and color very similar to those in the hand-painted portrait I showed you before. And on the right, you see my brain merge with the painting of my self-portrait. And still, you see kind of hallucinatory patterns and colors reminding the original portrait. This one. This project resulted in an exhibition held at EPNP INSERM, which is the Parisian Institute of Psychiatry and Neuroscience of the National Institute of Health and Medical Research. It took place during the International Brains Week in 2025. Here you can see both the hand-painted self-portrait, the original one from 2014, and the one of my brain, painted after the process I developed with AI. So the process I settled with AI and hand painting bring new perspectives. First, it's a bridge between art and science. By transforming objective scientific data like medical imaging, AI production into artistic pictorial material. This is also a poetic hybridization, as I don't just use AI and medical data, I transform them into a human and emotional language. Brain scans and algorithm output becomes color, texture, shapes that speak to the imagination and hopefully to the heart. The scientific data becomes an artistic, almost dreamlike vision. And third, it's also a bridge between hand and machine. Hallucinatory patterns and colors generated by AI recall the original hand painting while being so different. To me, this is a dialogue instead of a domination. Indeed, this poetic creates a kind of dialogue between human sensitivity and machine creativity. I don't let AI replace painting. Instead, I let it whisper, inspire, and merge with my hand. It allows another shape of the viewer experiment, who perceive both the rational science and AI and the emotional painting and subjectivity simultaneously. Now we're going to talk about Mona Lisa. In the following pages, you will see the extent of what this process can bring. Before 2018, people did not clearly understand what visual AI was about and how it could modify the creation of images and art. So I decided to work from the most famous painted in Western history, which is Mona Lisa, painted by Leonardo da Vinci during the 16th century in Italy. Many artists use this portrait to show some new paradigm of painting and their new painting language. Well, I transformed the original famous portrait, thanks to AI, with my own paintings and drawings, into a series of new original artworks. AI has given me the opportunity to reinterpret this masterpiece multiple times, as you can see, incorporating elements like patterns, shapes, and colors from my own pigment paintings. After curating a selection from the vast body of AI-generated work, I decided to print some pieces and use others as inspiration for new hand-painted creations in acrylic and watercolor. You can see an example of it. Yeah. The painting on the right is hand-painted from one of the creation with AI. This can be defined as a fusion of classical art and my personal language, using AI as a creative collaborator to blend my own work with a famous portrait opens up so many possibilities. And it allows for rapid experimentation. Try out countless variations of the fusion in minutes, which would have taken a human artist hours or even days. So one could consider that this process enhances the painting. The final painting now carries the weight of both its historical origins and its contemporary reimagining, brought by technology and human brain and hand. This is a good collaboration, I think. What you see on this page is another augmentation of the painting. I brought some of my Mona Lisas to the Louvre, the famous French Parisian museum, thanks to augmented reality. Some have been put virtually around the Pyramid of Pei, on cartels inside the museum, and right above the real painting of Leonardo da Vinci, as you can see. So you could scan the real painting of Leonardo da Vinci and see appear my own painting. It's not moving. Okay. This page shows one of the hybridization of one of my paintings with Mona Lisa. The resulting image was then used as a poster of studied days dealing with the painting in the third millennium in the academic research setting in art and science that I organized within 2 colleges in France, La Sorbonne and Bordeaux-Montaigne. As an end of this section, I would mention the creation of a new painting movement that I made in 2018 after all those researches, which was officially launched with a group of artists I gathered in 2019 based on AI, augmented reality, mapping, QR code, and pigment painting. It's a merge of pigment and pixels. After various tests and reflection dealing with the merge of pigment painting and new technologies, I wanted to create this new movement and place it within the long tradition of art history. I gave it the name of augmented painting, which is also called now augmentism. The word augmentation in French means 2 things, to get more and to enhance. I wondered if my painting could get more than it gets with just pigments or with just pixels like in digital art. And I drew a parallel with what happened in scientific and technological laboratories as science seeks to enhance the human body with robotics, interface machine, and so on. More and more, we try to technologize the body. I realized I could call the new painting movement the augmented painting, as I was technologizing the pigment. Art can be enhanced with its own medium, with new tools and processes. Here, pigments are becoming more than matter, pixels are becoming more than code. In this fusion, painting is not replaced by technology, but expanded by technology, opening the way to a new pictorial language for the future. And now I'm developing a biennial called Proxima. Where is it? Called Proxima, the European Biennial of AI and Augmentism. This is, why? Okay. This is the first biennial of AI art and augmentism in Europe. It includes 3 countries of Europe by now, France, Greece, and Italy, through cultural exchanges between artists, scientific... I didn't move anything. Okay. Between artists, scientists, and art researchers interacting together with the audience. There will be exhibition in these 3 countries to start, with a few dozen of artists, talk and seminars dealing with AI in creation, with engineers and scientific researchers and artists. Artistic and cultural structures, universities and institutions are offered to get involved into the project. And private partners are also welcome to join and enrich the biennial. The biennial benefits from the official support of the French Ministry of Culture. It is scheduled to take place at the beginning of 2026. The inaugural edition will be hosted in Paris from the beginning of January to the end of it, and in Thessaloniki, the cultural capital of Greece, from January to March 2026, and it should be followed by Italy. The dates are to come. Some other countries should join the event in the future. We strongly believe that culture is a key vector for the social appropriation of AI, making it possible to transform obstacles into understanding and the ability to act in favor of ethical use of this medium in art and in other fields. This biennial aims not only at showcasing pioneering artist practices, but also to foster a deeper cultural and intellectual exchange around the role of AI and new technologies in shaping the future of art, science, and society. In fact, the Proxima Biennial aims at bringing together artistic creation, research in artificial intelligence and emerging technologies, and the new imaginaries that result from them, with a particular focus on painting. Its transdisciplinary and civic-minded approach supports technological changes through the prism of culture with a critical approach. By articulating the heritage of traditional painting with the potential offered by contemporary technologies, augmentism opens up a new field of dialogue and concept, merging 2 disciplines, pigment painting and digital art. Thus, I gathered a group of artists developing these practices, and also AI artists who are not involved into painting. Augmentism could be seen as the new painting movement of the 21st century, following a long tradition of movements such as Impressionism, Cubism, and Surrealism, among others. And this biennale aims at promoting sensitive, critical, and inclusive approaches, and it contributes to a collective reflection on the role of artificial intelligence and technology in creation and society. Now, to end this presentation, let's dive into why? Because it's moving alone. I'm not moving in. Okay. The Dialogue project, conceived by Refik Anadol and Maurice Benayoun in 2020, is both an artistic experiment and an interactive urban installation. These artworks are composed by two generative artworks that face each other, confronted with an unknown environment made of languages, people, and a human world that are all foreign to them. These artificial entities thus become immigrants and strangers in our universe. The public and evolving work illustrate a major shift. Art, once an object, such as painting and sculpture, is now becoming a subject. These AI-powered work perceive, memorize, interact, and even develop what could be seen as a form of affectivity, like fear, curiosity, excitement, and compassion. By assimilating what the artwork perceive, they transform their own symbolic DNA, learn fragments of language, and interact with the audience and with each other. Dialogue thus questions the relationship between machines and humans, mirroring current migrations and intercultural encounters. These artificial foreigners become a sensitive metaphor to the quest for understanding and cohabitation between different spaces and culture. Okay. This is an artwork from Olivier Aubert, a French artist, made in 1960. This is called the Poietic Generator, and this is a social network game designed under the Free Art label with many contributors. Here, players collectively control graphic elements of a shared matrix in real time, with each person managing one unit. The aim is not to win or lose, but to collaboratively create recognizable shapes while observing the dynamics of group creativity. The artist is now developing a no-goal AI poietic generator. He underlines AI are programmed to have goals, and they achieve through prompts. They aim at pleasing you with the answers they give, and more generally at winning every game they play, such as Go or chess game. Olivier Aubert tries to understand how AI could react within a no-goal game. He thinks that maybe the goal would be to find and make sense together in the game rather than to win something. And I guess it's a nice end. Thank you.